Hello, everyone, and welcome to, I was going to say Thursday, the Ukulele Underground Podcast. My name is Aldrine Guerrero. Joining me are these two lovely gentlemen, Mr. Aaron, the voice Nakamura. Say what's up, Aaron.
What's up?
And Mr. Kahai, the legend Fergan. Say what's up, Kahai.
What's up?
Morning, gentlemen. I feel like it's morning. Like I just woke up an hour ago.
And made it just in time.
Oh my God.
Not quite in time.
I know, we're late. For those of you podcast listeners and stuff, it doesn't affect you much. But for the live viewers, they're like, where is that guy? It's like way past 1 o'clock already and they haven't started yet. It's my fault, not these guys. These guys were professional. They were here. But as for myself, I was not. I was not here. But we are here now, and we are here to answer any and all of your questions. That's how this works. The Ukulele Underground Podcast, you send us questions. I try to answer as best as I can. These two guys will come in with their 2 cents, and we'll try to come up with the best answer possible just for you. And we can talk about anything. It doesn't have to be ukulele, preferably about ukulele, but it doesn't have to be, so you guys can ask us anything. But guys, headlines. Before we get started on questions, and this breaking news. Like I just found this out yesterday from... from the very reputable website, whitehouse.gov. Okay? Friend of the show, my friend, close personal friend of mine, has been nominated by President Joe Biden to be part of the National Council of the Arts. Mr. Jake Shimabukuro yesterday. Wow. Joe Biden nominated 17 people yesterday to different councils and stuff. Jake Shimabukuro got nominated by Joe Biden to be one of the people that is in the National Council of the Arts. Wow. So congratulations, Jake Shimabukuro. I texted him this morning. I'm like, dude, I just saw the presidential nomination and stuff. Like that's awesome. You know, like congratulations. And he's like, thanks, man. Such an honor. And then that's it. As if like it's like no big deal. Because
that kind of thing happens to him all the time.
Right. No, it's one of those things that like, if that happened to me, I would be singing it on top of all the mountains, you know? Yeah. And like, I was looking at social media and stuff. And I'm like, why isn't anyone talking? Like, or Facebook? You know, why isn't anybody talking about this? Or like, why isn't Jake's like PR team like posting it on all his Instagram and Twitter and whatever?
Or so it was just a nomination though. So
but still, you know, like just being like handpicked by the president to be like, hey, I'm gonna nominate this guy to be one of the to like a national like arts council of the arts or whatever. Like this guy knows about his art and art in general, that I'm gonna put him as one of the people that is in authority for the arts. And that's amazing. Like I would be,
he's a good ambassador for music.
You know what I mean? Like I don't care if I got picked. When I was nominated for a Hoku, and that's like just whatever like statewide kind of thing. I was like, hey everyone, I got nominated for this this thing for the Hawaiian artists, the Hawaiian Recording Arts or whatever, Association of Recording Arts. But this is like a presidential nomination,
nationwide,
and it's like, you know, like I mean, I'm not nagging on his PR team or whatever, but like it's one of those things. And I went to Jake himself, and he's like, "Thanks, such an honor," and like that's it. As if it's like no big deal.
Come on, guys.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like I would be singing, like I said, I'd be singing my own praises on top of mountain, where he's just like super humble, and he's just like, "Oh, you know, it's such an honor."
Yeah.
Like, thanks, LJ.
Yeah,
Thanks for
that's what I would expect from him.
I was like, geez, you know, you could show a little bit more. like as if you're stoked. That's cool, man. It's just me. It's not like an interview. Cameras are not on. Like you can be stoked about it if you want to. But yeah, congratulations, friend of the show.
Sure
we just had him we just had him a few weeks ago. Proud to be, to call him my friend. That's a huge honor. So pretty cool. If you guys have him on any of your social media sites on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, make sure you congratulate him. It's a big thing, like, for an ukulele player to have that kind of seat of power or position, or to be groomed for that,
or just recognized in general, like
amazing.
Ukulele was never that ever.
I read that and I was telling my wife, like, I know that guy. He's like my friend.
Yeah.
I was talking to him at like 11 o'clock at night the other night, till like past midnight about pickup balance.
A very specific subject
that no one else wants to talk to me about. It's like, and I didn't even bring it up and stuff. We talked about other things too, but he never, because if it was me, I'm like, dude, hey, let me tell you something. You know what I mean? Like, really, 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 really proud. Very, very, very happy for my friends. So congratulate them, everyone, because that's one of ours. Like it's an ukulele player that's going to be holding that seat. It's awesome. Or nominated to, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, who else? Who is he up against? Who would he?
I don't know. There's a bunch of nominations and stuff, but just that alone, I think is pretty damn cool. So good job, Jake. Just seriously paving the still paving the road for everyone. Because like, how do you even do that? Like, how do you even get recognized? Like to even be nominated by the president to do something? Do you play for what's the deal? Like, how?
He's just dedicated to his craft long enough.
I know.
And, enough people
there was
believe.
A private Zoom meeting, and he's like, "Okay, next performer, come on." And, okay, next.
Amazing. So be proud, guys. It's an ukulele player has been nominated for one of the national Council of the Arts seats. That's cool.
What if Jake gets in and then it's like stuff starts happening where it's like national instrument ukulele? It's like
that's cool too.
Strings,
like
pulling some strings.
He's doing some what is it? He's doing some like Darth Maul kind of stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah,
Palpatine.
Every elementary school. Ukulele in the classroom.
Yeah,
do
amazing.
it. Strike him down.
So yeah, I just thought I'd share the good news and stuff. I read it last night and I'm like, that's amazing. Yeah. Like, and why isn't anybody talking about it? It's like big news for the ukulele world. So I want to be the first. I don't know if maybe other people are talking about it, who knows, but in my own channels and stuff, it's
I
like
never heard anything about it. So
I'll put exclusive. We got the big news.
I wouldn't say, I don't know, maybe other people saw it too and stuff, but seriously, like that's really, really, really cool. So
nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so now let's get to regular business. Now that we've done the breaking news part, and now that's big news. I'm super proud of my friend. I'm like brimming with pride for my friend right now, and happiness. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Breaking through so many more walls. Like I thought that okay, cool. He's paved the way and stuff. Everyone knows the road to be a successful touring ukulele musician or a touring ukulele teacher or whatever. He's done that. Good. He can rest on his laurels. But now it's like, no, that's not enough. What? That's amazing. So happy. Anyway, Kai, any questions for me this week?
I don't think we got any new questions this week, but we're gonna pick a winner for the song challenge.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I brought the Hing mango. It's in my car, but I swear I have it. I'll give it to that person. It's like a good palm, good bag, good size bag too. It's not like just one of those small ones or whatever. It's a good size bag. If you don't know what Hing mango is, maybe we'll take a picture, put it on our Instagram stories or something.
We've had it before too.
Yeah,
you can check out past song challenges where we've had it as prizes too.
Yeah. So. What, Kai? Can you explain what Hing mango is?
It's Hing Mui is would you call it a spice? It's not really like a spice. It's like a
sort of is.
It sort of is. It's a powder.
Yeah, it's like a sweet powder that they
made from.
I don't know. I don't really know what it's made from.
Like dried plums, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Plums. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it people here just put it on pretty much everything. Yeah. So dried fruit, Lihimui mango is the dried mango with the powder put on top of it.
How would you describe a Lihing a Lihing flavor? Because I would assume you're one of the experts in this flavor since you deal with it on an everyday basis back then.
What?
Yeah, well, it's a very popular shave ice flavor.
It's actually it's not that
really
popular.
Yeah, I thought that everyone was craving that.
I think local people like it,
okay.
and
that's why.
Yeah. And then when people come to the shop, that's why it's you offer it to tourists, and some tourists might be adventurous and they'll try it out, but most tourists are like, "Do you have cherry?" It's oh, well, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, we have cherry. Limui though it's a sour kind of flavor. It's sour, tangy, and then I guess I think it's the
sweet.
Powder itself is mixed with sugar too.
Yeah,
so
it's a sweet, salty, sour kind of flavor. It's great. If you've never tried Lihing Mui or just any Lihing flavor, Or next time you come to Hawaii, like, and you go to a shave ice stand and stuff, be a little adventurous. Because Kai, would you recommend Lihingui to people? Like,
Yeah,
you know?
I like it. And my dad's shop has 2 different types of lihimui. And so that's kind of, you got to be in the know.
Really?
which
What's the two? Yeah, what's the 2 different ones?
Yeah, because there's one where it's like, it has a little bit of the lihimui flavor, but it's just it's just a syrup basically. But then there's one where it has the actual flecks of the powder itself, or it like kind of has it in it. And so when you get that, it basically tastes like he poured a little bit of the powder on top of your shave ice.
Cool. Well, what would you mix it with? Like, I mean, of course, mango and
combination.
Yeah, combination of shave ice. So if you had like 2 or 3 flavors that you could get, because that's usually what you do. For those people who have never had Hawaiian shave ice before, it's not usually just one flavor. Usually they layer the flavor, right?
Yeah, we can put up we can do as much
It's a good
flavors.
mix.
Yeah, we can do as much flavors as you want, but up
really?
to a point, it just all starts tasting like
Sweet.
yeah, and,
Yeah.
and you're not even gonna see the color; it's just gonna turn like black or
I
a dark color. So, but
What's a popular mix with Lihingui?
I would say like lilikoi or passion fruit,
sounds
and
good.
yeah, like something you want something kind of like, I think something kind of fruity, but I wouldn't say something like lime too. I wouldn't do or grape because you already have that sour tang. So you kind of need something more just like fruity, like banana or maybe strawberry to kind of round it out. So yeah.
Speaking of which, I had like dreams about that like Calamansi rind that you gave me yesterday, man. Like, I woke up in a cold sweat, like, where's that flavor? I wanted it really bad. It's like, oh snap, it was so good. Anyway, enough about that.
Yeah.
Or like, what is that? Like what? Or
Aaron gave me this like Calamansi rind, like the peel and stuff.
To explain it to people
Nobody
who
knows
are
what
watching.
Oh, okay. Well, Calamansi
Yeah.
is like, it's a Filipino lime basically. It's a tiny lime and it's sweeter than a normal lime. It's actually very sweet. It's Japanese people I guess have yuzu. It's like the Filipino equivalent to like what yuzu is, because I guess yuzu is a little bit more mainstream. But now Calamansi is getting a little bit more mainstream. But it's it's a tiny lime, very sweet. You could make lemonade with it, and it would be like the best lemonade ever. It's really good.
But like calamansi is also used as like to make dipping sauces too, like for meat and stuff.
Of course,
Yeah,
like
similar to yuzu.
Filipino
Yeah.
like dipping sauces.
Or-
You usually mix it with like shoyu or soy sauce and some chili pepper.
Or you throw it in
stuff.
with cooking too, yeah. Like
Yes.
basically,
Yeah, lots of stuff. You can
Yeah.
you it's basically like lime, just like a sweet lime.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so in Hawaii we have like Hing lemon peel that we do. And so my sister did sort of the same thing with the calamansi peel.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. And then so she
Yeah, like a candied peel, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
woke up in a cold sweat. I'm like, calamansi.
yeah.
Oh, it's just
it's
a dream.
really it's pretty sour.
Like,
But
well, I don't know how people would get how experience this, but a lot of times, like if you go to sporting events, people will bring, lihimui seeds or like dried seeds or dried fruits and stuff, and that's where you get to try it. So I remember golfing with my dad, and we had all the different seeds, and you're just chewing it while you're golfing and stuff. So.
Well, they sell like lemon peels and stuff. Maybe for the next songwriting thing, I'll put a lemon peel. I'll do that instead. There we go. Let's start a challenge today. A new challenge.
Okay.
And the new prize is gonna
That
be
would
like
be-
some lemon peels.
yeah.
We're just giving people.
Like Hawaiian snacks.
Yeah.
It's like,
We should-
You guys want strings? No? Okay, here's some snacks instead.
We should make a wheel, another wheel of what prize you'll
Okay,
get.
yeah, that sounds fun. We'll do that.
Wheel of prizes.
So it's like limui, mango, and then limui powder.
Yeah.
We'll do like dried seeds and all these
that's
stuff.
cool.
And then one sliver will be chicken feet again or something.
That's right. We gave away chicken feet one time.
I don't know if
That
we can
was
find
fresh
that.
from
Though.
China. Though.
Yeah.
We went to China and came back with some weird stuff. But I mean, growing up in the Philippines, chicken feet not that weird actually. That's something that you get in like a barbecue, like on a street stand. Very good. Pretty delicious. Cartilage is delicious.
Whoever got it should have just sent it back to you.
So anyway, yeah, I guess we just talk about food the entire time. But more importantly, we did a songwriting challenge. So the songwriting challenge, our guideline was, Kahai?
To fill in the blank, it was another
Musical
Mad
Lib.
Yeah. And the blank was, on the blank, we do it blank style.
Yeah. Just like on the island, we do it island style. But you can put whatever you want in those two blanks, same word, different words, whatever, however you want to interpret it, and just write a song about that. And we gave you guys a smaller guideline as far as what chords to use. You can use 1 and 5 if you want to, but it's really free and very open. You can use whatever chords you want to as long as you write about. On the blank, we do it blank style. Like that was the only I don't know, like thing that you got to do. What's the word I'm looking for? A mandatory thing that you had to do. Yeah. Now we got some submissions from a bunch of people. Kahai, who do we have on the wheel today?
Yeah, we had
the chopping block.
I'll pull up the wheel now. We had Kathy. We had Hamsini and Harini. They did like a duet together. Nice. Chris and Sue did a duet too. Brian sent in a song, and Joko sent in.
Yeah, and as a reminder for those people who are listening to this as a podcast, you don't have to be an Ukulele Underground member. Just saw the face. You don't have to be an Ukulele Underground member to participate in this songwriting contest that we have. Just submit whatever song that you have. And if anything, if you want to just practice writing songs, you can always check out our archives of the guidelines that we've done. You can just write songs for fun if you want to. All right. Yeah. So now all the people who have sent in songs, we put them in a wheel, and we're gonna spin the wheel, and whoever the wheel chooses. And today we have a very special wheel. This is Dr. Wheel. Dr. Wheel. So Dr. Wheel will choose who is today's winner for the songwriting contest. So what did they do in order to get there, Kahai?
They just submitted it in, and most of them did submit it to the forum.
Yeah.
But then Brian just sent it directly because I don't think he's a member, or I'm not
so
sure.
however you want to send it over to us, as long as as long as we get it, like, I feel like we can put you in. Doesn't really matter as long as you try. That's really all we're looking for, right, Kahai?
Yeah, and we had like some like Chris and Sue, they kind of like recorded several layers, and they did stuff. But then cool. We had some that were pretty simple, where it's just like either they're just playing their ukulele, and it's just like a couple chords. So
yeah, just like strictly audio. There were a few videos too.
Nice. Okay, so Dr. Wheel, spin that wheel.
Yeah, that's why if anybody has a problem with not getting chosen, it's Dr. Wheel.
Oh, Joko.
Joko.
Yep. Yeah, Joko, congratulations. Nice. Hing Mango. All the way out where is he from again?
Myanmar.
Myanmar. Yeah, Myanmar. Yeah, all the way out to Myanmar. Send a bag of Hing Mango. Good stuff.
Didn't Sean Awao did a Hing Hula
Hing
song?
Hula. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So if you know the Fish and Poi song, then Sean Awao is the artist that
Why haven't we done that song? Like, I think.
Oh yeah.
I think the rest of the world should know about that song. You know what I mean? Like, because it's a classic. Just like Island Style is a classic. Like Drop Baby Drop is a classic. I think Fish and Poi is a classic also.
Yeah.
The other logo song that I thought about is like, I don't know. Nobody else likes this song, but Beach Bum Boogie.
I swear to God. That was going to be one of the Thursday songs that I do because I like that song. And I've talked about that song here and how I went to see Imua at Big Kmart and stuff. I actually really like that song. And when I watched him perform, the guy who does the harmony, he doesn't really like play the instrument stuff. The guy was doing the harmony. He was doing like this dance with it, right? The beach bum dance. And I'm like, I could do that for the video, And of course, shame settled in. And then I'm like, maybe I shouldn't do that. And then I'm like, my friends like from Kauai watches this, like, oh, Aldrine likes that song. You know what I mean? And then like less phone calls for gigs, and so people are like, hey, Aldrine, why don't you come jam with us at Rob's and stuff? And I was like, oh, should we call Aldrine? He's like, no, I saw that video. Like, he did. Maybe not. But yes, swear to God, I was just thinking about like, doing that video and I pulled out. Like, I'm like, checking out last second.
Yeah, that's another one though. I feel like the world should know.
The world should know that song. Yes, thank you. Now I will do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted approval from just one friend.
Now that somebody came out.
My wife doesn't count because she doesn't know. It has to be somebody from Hawaii that has heard the song and actually likes it.
Yeah.
It's super. What's the word for it? Not campy.
It's pretty.
It's kind of corny. It is kind of a corny song and stuff.
Yeah.
But who cares? So is Island Style and Dropping Me Drop.
Yeah.
This is where all those songs. So.
Yeah. I like personally Mr. Pole Bender.
It's deep cut. Rising Tide. It's deep cut.
Rising Tide by Rising Tide.
Yeah, it's
Rising
kind of.
Tide.
But like all of those songs, right? It's kind of like in the same vein as like Margaritaville or something. It's like, yeah, if it is kind of corny, but if you enjoy it, then just enjoy it. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how I'm gonna like face all my macho friends who are like all about the hardcore reggae,
Yeah,
and then like, oh, you did Menehune Beach Bum Boogie? I don't know.
What's your favorite band? I was like, Imua.
Oh, Bob Marley and the Wailers, Steel Pulse. Was that last one? Black Sabbath. Yeah, good stuff. Metallica.
Yeah.
I love me some Black Sabbath. But yeah, so we're gonna send one over to Myanmar. Now let's set the brand new songwriting challenge, shall we, Kahai?
Yeah.
What shall we do? We did 2 Mad Libs in a row. Maybe we'll step outside of the Mad Lib for just one, for one, and then maybe the next one we'll do another Mad Lib again. But any ideas on what you guys want to do? Feel free to chime in with anything, audience. If you guys want to suggest stuff, maybe some theme or maybe some chord progressions, whatever, or key, go ahead, and yeah. So if you're gonna suggest stuff like chords and chord progressions, you gotta at least try it, because it's not like, oh, these people that are doing it should do like a one whatever, like a hardcore progression, and then you don't try it yourself. Like, come on, you gotta like. So if you're gonna suggest one that's like doable. That like for people who are new at this, that want to try it out. So unless you're gonna try it yourself, then yeah, that's so.
So I have suggestions for like, I don't know if they're one for sure as a bonus, but what if, since we're talking about all these songs that have to do with food, why don't we make it like that you have to do a food song?
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So this songwriting challenge,
every song of Aldrine.
Yeah, that's easy peasy.
Either
Monster
video games or food.
Video games or food. That's it. God, I don't know why I can't seem to write a serious song. I think I was talking about it with Aaron, that like there was one challenge where I started writing, and then I once again chickened out because it got too deep, or it got too inside my feelings, my real feelings, and then it just became like a funny song afterwards because I don't know. I can't for some reason get in touch with that, with that part of me anymore. Like back then when I was in early college or whatever, in high school, all the feelings were coming out. It's like an emo kid, Now it's just like, maybe not. Maybe my hardcore reggae friends were like, oh, I was listening to your podcast and you're singing about feelings, and I'm like, no, stop.
we were just talking about that too, right? Like with Daniel and Mark, whereas Daniel wrote some pretty deep cut songs, and then when we asked him about it, he's like, I don't know why I put those out even, right?
Because back then, it's just no fear, put out whatever. Now that we're adults, it's like, oh yeah, I don't know.
I'm a little older.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to be shamed, Yeah.
But so. Food theme this time. So any chord progressions or any chords from the audience, Kahai? Any suggestions from the audience? Any bonuses?
Yeah, we. I don't know if they're not coming in right now. Maybe they're taking some time. But
Yep.
Another bonus that I thought of previously was because we talked about, right, like how minor song doesn't necessarily have to be sad, and how a major song doesn't necessarily have to be happy. So that's I think as a bonus, that'd be cool if you flipped it, right?
Yeah.
You wrote a minor song that's happy, and you wrote a major song that's sad.
That sounds awesome. Yeah.
But that's just as a bonus, right?
I spilled my milk again, and that's the last of my milk. Don't have enough for more. My cereal day is done. My morning is ruined. Spilled the milk, so last my milk. Yeah, good. That sounds great. See, sad song, happy chords.
Or you gotta play it slow, like Mike said.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Like that. I spilled my milk again. I don't have any more milk in the fridge.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know.
I was just thinking about that, and Mike said like, there's other cultures that do that too, and I was talking to Aaron about that, how like a lot of Japanese like bubblegum pop, it's very poppy, right? It's like, oh, this is almost like too sweet.
Yeah.
But then if you listen to or if you look at the lyrics, it's like, oh, the lyrics are kind of depressing.
Yeah, man.
So they like to do that. Another song I thought about too is I think isn't Danny Boy like it's a pretty major song. It uses a major key. But then when you think about what is being sung about, right, it's like, oh, this is a pretty sad song too. So yeah.
The bells.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, Daddy, no. Oh, Daddy boy. Yeah, it's that's good. That's a good bonus. So about food, and then make major sounding songs sound sad,
like a sad major song,
major song, or a happy minor song.
Song.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Keys. Let's go with F. I was just playing F. That sounds good. Let's do F. You don't have to. These are bonuses. Really, the only thing you need to do is write a song about food. Like that's it. You can use whatever chords. But you know, if we had to pick one, key of F, that'd be fun. Maybe just a 1-4-5 in F, which is F, B flat, and a C. If you want to go minor, it's going to be D minor, G minor, A minor. Okay.
What about if you're playing in F minor?
In F minor, it's going to be F minor, B flat minor, C7. So so now it has to be a happy now.
Yeah.
I poured my milk and everything went in the bowl.
No, you gotta play it faster then.
Oh yeah. I poured my milk this morning. Everything went in the bowl.
What?
Nothing went wrong. Cereal tasted good. My morning was great.
Aren't those chords like a rap song?
Is it? I mean, it's 1-4-5. Right?
Yeah.
Minor 1, minor 4, and 5. Lucky Charms was a good choice. I'm glad I chose that cereal. Really matched with oat milk.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh yeah. Good stand the gangsters paradise.
Exactly.
So okay, I got
Which
you.
is also a Stevie Wonder song, right?
It's just also a Weird Al song.
Which is also a Weird Al song. Yeah. Amish Paradise.
Yeah, best. Coolio wasn't cool with. All right. So anything from the audience, guy? You know, quiet audience today, huh?
Yeah. Well, I guess people can still send in suggestions, right?
Do they have questions, by the way? Sorry.
Yeah. So we just got a question from Rob, and it's about your uke. He asked, "What is the inlay?"
That's a good question. It's me from the back. It's a cute little chibi of me from behind. So this is from like Sweet 409. This is actually a very like retro logo for me. Okay, Sweet 409, my very first album. Bradford Barris, the artist for that, who is actually the creator of Bandito Tali, is the guy who made that that character up. he designed the entire album, and one of the things were this picture, I guess.
Yeah.
So just
I
me
think
with the long hair.
Your album might be back there somewhere.
Oh, I guess it
Somewhere
is.
behind you, yeah.
I guess it is. Oh, this one. Okay. Oh,
It's signed.
it's signed to Jonathan.
Never got to Jonathan.
Never got to Jonathan.
Oh,
So it's inside here. So that's the logo right there. So the CD, which was supposed to be in here.
Yeah.
I guess Aaron's been listening to my album, really practicing before the shows started happening. But yeah, that's it right there. It's based off of this guy. See, look at this emo kid with the long hair, you know, like. But really, like the album is like, it's me leaving that sweet 409. I was, like I said, I was a pretty emo kid back in the day, so a lot of these songs are super sad. Yeah, it's me from behind, like with my ukulele like this. So if I were to turn around, imagine like long hair like this, going down like that, and then the ukulele like so. So that's what that is. Okay, let's take a closer look.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You had it on your old uke before too.
It's in abalone though,
Yeah.
right?
Oh
So
yeah, this is an abalone. Usually it's in
little-
like sand and stuff, so it's nice.
a
and
little harder
sparkly.
to see,
Yeah.
but
That's what it is. But abalone all the way around too. I opted for like thinner abalone because kanile can be like as thick like abalone as possible. Especially the rosette. Like I didn't want it to be too much. Like I don't know. I'm still new to the blingy kind of ukulele and stuff. I just used this uke last night. Oh, it sounded so good. I was so happy.
You didn't want to put your name inlaid on the fretboard like everyone else.
No need to remember my name. I do have my name though, like just in
your
case.
signature.
Yeah, if found, return to.
If found, return to this person on the fretboard that looks like this from behind.
Look for this
long
man.
hair. Imagine with long hair and then return, please.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been, as a kid when I did like mock-ups and stuff. I mean, like everyone did that, right? Did you do that? Like mock-ups of like your personal like guitar or ukulele, like if you had a custom-made guitar. Really? What? Am I like the only weirdo?
No,
You did that, right?
I did, yeah.
See, I was like, am I the only weirdo that did that? Like back when I was a sophomore, junior in high school and stuff, I was like making all these mock-ups. I make my ukulele is gonna look like this.
Yeah, I drew the shape out, and then I wrote like what woods I wanted for each part.
Yes. Had the specs on the side, right? And then like, oh man.
Mine was like electric, so I was like, I want these types of pickups over here. Yeah, and
it looked like an actual blueprint. Like there's some like zoomed in portions and stuff on the side, right? Just so like, okay, this is like what the inlay looks like zoomed in or whatever. So it looks like this is the design and whatnot. I'm sure some of our audience members have done that. Like not even in their high school years. Like maybe last week they did that.
I wouldn't and I wasn't even like I didn't really know too much about like building guitars or anything.
Custom builds.
So like when you actually do one, right, they'll ask you, what scale length do you want and stuff like that. I would have been just like, well, I don't know, that's not important to me. I just wanted like
it looks like
regular length.
Can I get a spruce top for this? This is a electric guitar. Why would you want a spruce top? That's terrible.
I like what I like. Okay, it's a waste of spruce.
I heard it's a good tone wood. It'll make it sound better.
Well, So when I was younger and I was making like mock-ups and stuff, it would always have like my name on it, but never had an ukulele with like AG or Aldrine or whatever it may be. Like and some people, I have me, or I have like the Super Mario me that I made. So that Super Mario one, which is like the mushroom but with the hat and stuff, and then the ukulele. That one I designed myself, but this one is by Brad Barris. So that's it. I don't know. Never been into it. Like even though like a lot of my my ukulele heroes growing up and stuff, like watching Hot Hawaiian Nights and seeing like Kelly Boy DeLima's ukulele, and it's like in sparkly Kelly Boy DeLima, like big letters, like throughout the entire fretboard like this. It wasn't even just like on the 12th fret. I'm like, dang, that is cool. It's like so, and it looks good on camera. You know, like when you're watching Hot Hawaiian Nights, which is a musical show that had like live musicians play, which is like on weekends and stuff in Hawaii back then. You'd see it, and then it's like the ukulele. This is an ukulele player. Like, oh dang, look at that beautiful, so
With the
good.
bling.
Yeah, look him, so good.
He's not even Filipino.
But yeah, I don't know why.
Well, I liked when we were talking to Jake and you're explaining why you made your uke the way you did. Like, I feel like you took the more subtle things that people wouldn't have thought of, like the headstock and the Troy's like rosette, right? Like style. So
yeah, I mean, I think the headstock was like everyone's wish list back before, you know, like now you throw a rock and you know, like you hit like a slotted headstock ukulele from like the major brands now. But back then these were pretty rare. So I'm like, so I think back then like this was on the wish list of many people, and that's why like you got guys like Kale, Gamiao, people like performers like Britney and Taimane, like they all have like slotted headstock ukes and stuff because we all grew up like listening to Jake.
Yeah.
Or even the headstock shape though, right? Like how it's just a flat shape too.
Yeah, so that's like a Jake thing, you know, like
Although they usually have crowns. Like I know Kale's one has a crown.
Yeah, I think Jake was the only one that didn't have it. But then since I didn't go through Kamaka, so Kanye was like, "Oh yeah, you want that? We'll make that for you." Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like, yes, flat style headstock. I didn't know that like that was the Kamaka style. For me, I've always referred to it as the Martin style headstock because like I've always seen Martin guitars and ukuleles and stuff with the flats.
It's probably funny because like when you ask them that, they're like, "Oh, you mean less work carving out the headstock?" Yeah, sure. Oh,
it looks elegant. I like it. You know, I like it.
Oh, added feature. Oh, yeah. We did it flat on purpose.
I am really liking this like abalone K on the black. Because I always go for like a maple or something or like sand. But now that it's like this sparkly green, purple, blue thing, like gorgeous. Like I don't put this down ever, guys. Like I came in and stuff. Kai's like, okay, can you plug in uke so we can get started? And this is the one that I grab instead of grabbing that one over there, which is the one that I use for Ukulele Underground. This is the one that I grabbed. Like I just, this is gonna be attached. I just handcuff myself to it.
Do you kind of want to talk about stuff that you had to do to it? Because like, if people have the same problem, I think that'd be pretty interesting.
Well, okay, I'm gonna talk about it, but I don't suggest people trying it because it can ruin your ukulele. Okay?
This is like a last resort.
Yes. Okay,
and only if it matters to you.
Yes, only if it matters to you, because 99% of performers is, you know, either you can't hear it or it doesn't matter, or you're like, it's so minute, like it's not a big deal. But for me, it is. Now, before I explain it, I explain it to Aaron like this. There's an episode of Rick and Morty where Rick creates this very flat plane, and then Morty stands on it, and then and then Rick destroys it, and then Morty's like, "No, I gotta go back. I want to feel the absolute level." You know, like he finally felt like what absolute level felt like, and he just went crazy. He was just never the same again. You know, like going on regular ground or regular floor. He's just like, this is not right. It's not right. Okay, it's not kind of like that. Level. What I'm talking about is the balance on my ukulele. So this is not just a Kanilea thing. It's not just a Kamaka thing. It's not to any one brand. There's not to any one pickup either.
It's all brands.
Yeah, it's all brands, all pickups. Okay, this is across the board. And we are, you know, at Kanilea, I work with Kanilea, you know, pretty closely, and we're working and redoing a lot of R&D, like research and development on different pickups that will solve this issue that only 1% really go through. So, but trust us, we're working on it. Anyway, it's pickup balance really is what it is. So it's usually, you know, like a piezo pickup underneath your saddle. Usually the piezo, like the thing that picks up the sound itself, like what's that called? Like a rod, you know?
Yeah,
like a strip.
Like a strip. Okay,
and it picks up the physical vibrations. Yeah.
And so the theory is the more contact the saddle has on the pickup, the more it should send, the stronger the signal should be. Okay, I'm trying to explain this as best as I can without like losing people. Okay, with that said, the pickup goes into the slot right here, and then the saddle goes on top of it, and then the string goes on top of that. Right? When you plug in your ukulele and you test out, the electronics, 99 times out of 100, either one string is gonna be, one or more strings are gonna be louder, or one or more strings is going to be softer. It's very, very, very rare that you plug it in and all four strings are like equal across the board. That's like the holy grail. Like getting an ukulele, plugging it in, and every single one is nice and balanced. And this one, I'm not claiming this one is, because the A is a little bit brighter, but I'm fine. I've settled that like it's okay. This is the best that I'm gonna get right now until I get more saddles. Okay.
Can you maybe like kind of like simulate what it would be like if like what it would sound like to somebody?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So imagine if I strummed it like this normal, right? But it sounds like this.
Yeah.
Or like this is like that soft. Everything is going. So when I'm playing,
but you actually were using the same amount of force on each.
Yes,
string.
the same amount of force, but that's what it sounded like when you strummed it, when you played it exactly the same. So if I were to play a riff like, right? Mm-hmm. So imagine it sounding like, I can't even like do it manually. It's like so, and it's annoying. Like really, it's just annoying on stage.
That's what people would, or what you're hearing out of the sound system. Even though you're not intending for that to happen.
And I bet like people listening to you trying to demonstrate it, right? Like just strumming through, they'd be like, "That sounds fine to me," and that's why it's a very like limited to so only certain people will really pick up on that. Yeah. Like, this is kind of bugging me, and I gotta fix it.
So what you do is you take the saddle and you can sand it, like sand underneath it, and that would make, that in theory it would make it flat, right? So it would have equal amount of pressure that goes on top of that, on top of the pickup, therefore creating equal amounts of vibration from each string. But each string has different tensions to it, so that's also going to going to matter.
Thicknesses.
It's different thicknesses, so it's just there's so much factors going on. And also the slot that this goes in, that also has to be level, because if that slot is not level, then you're going to be, you're going to hear some weakness in some, and you're going to hear overpowering in some as well.
And it's not like the ukulele makers do it where it's not level.
Yeah, they try it as best as they can, as close as possible.
They do it with the micrometers. They measure, right?
Yeah. So there's lots of things that you can do. So you can either add material underneath the saddle so that there's more contact with the pickup itself, therefore amplifying the that string just a little bit, or it would amplify it by a lot. But when you amplify the one string that you want to go louder, maybe you're going to take off one because it's now not even. So it's like there's so much play that needs to happen. And so what you have to do, loosen the strings, and then take out the saddle, like do something to the saddle, either like sand it down or like add things to it, or add things to the, on top of the pickup, put the saddle back in, like retune your ukulele, test it out. If something's wrong again, take it out, put it in. And even if you get it, if after a day that saddle is gonna settle down and it's gonna like go haywire again. So this took seriously like 2 weeks of like experimentation, like different strings, different combinations, different like settings for the saddle, and even then I've requested extra saddles from Kanilea just so that, because I've been working on this one and it got a little bit low, so there's a slight buzz because the action is a little bit too low. So I want the action to be a little bit higher on this one now, because back then I preferred a low action, but lately I've been kind of craving a higher action ukulele just so that I can get better response from my strings. Not like super high or anything, but just slightly higher than what I have. Most people would say normal height because they usually have the lower action. But yeah, it was a ton of work because there's so much variables that could be could be happening. And like I said, it's not Kanile's fault, it's not Kamaka's or whatever. So I mentioned earlier, Jake and I were talking like at 11, 12 o'clock at nighttime. We're just talking about string balance because no one really wants to talk about string balance because that doesn't really matter for most people,
I'm sure most of the podcast listeners would have turned the tune out at this point.
Yeah.
And the reason why you don't want to mess with any, or like this is like the last resort is like messing with your bridge or anything, is because it's gonna affect everything else, right? Too. So you got to be careful, like. If you're adding material or you're taking material away, it's kind of like, and you don't know what you're doing. It's kind of a one-way street. It's pretty dangerous to just, mess with.
So this, now we're going to bring it all back to what I said about Rick and Morty. Back when I was a Kamaka ukulele player, when I was playing an HF3, Jake Shimabukuro noticed that like, hey, your balance is a little bit off, like we were jamming at like Diamond Head Cove one day. And he's like, oh, could I, is it cool if I work on your ukulele? I was like, yeah, I guess. I mean, if you're volunteering, I don't hear it or whatever. But he's like, oh, I think E is a little bit weak or whatever it was, or my C was a little bit too bright, something. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, well, you can use this one for now. And that's why there's pictures of me with his old, like the old Jake models, not like the slotted headstock one, but just the regular one that was up for raffles and stuff. So I had a prototype of that he's like, oh, just borrow this for now if you have gigs that you're playing this week, because it's going to take about a week to do. I was like, yeah, keep it if you want. Like, just hold on to this as my collateral. Yeah, this is way better, So my ukulele comes back and I plug it in and seriously felt like I was Morty, like standing on that very like level ground. They're like, this is what my uke can sound like? Are you kidding me? Like, this is amazing. And it's just like a regular tenor Kamaka ukulele, but it just sounded so good and so clean and so crisp. My mother-in-law has no idea what she has. Like that ukulele that she's just using for church and stuff is like the most balanced ukulele that I own. Because seriously, that is, I don't know how Jake did it, but Jake has been known to like buy his own saddles and carve them themselves and kind of fit them and stuff. He's got tools for everything. He really knows his craft, and I kind of want to get on that same level. So I tried to do this one myself. I thought it was okay. I'm getting new saddles in. I'm going to continue to work on it to see if I can get at that perfect Rick Rick level of balance.
And people would probably hear professional players, right? And they'd be like, but it sounds fine, playing like unbalanced instruments. And it's kind of like, you get to a point too where probably a professional player can adjust their playing to make the, if it's like a weak E string, they probably can hear it and be like, oh, I got to pick a little harder on that E string when I'm playing,
Yeah. Oh, so here's a fun fact. The ukulele that that you normally see on Aloha Friday Live jams, because I brought this ukulele and then I was like, man, the C and E are pretty weak, so I'm gonna have to, because I know that ukulele works, the Ukulele Underground ukulele. I plugged it in, and lo and behold, the E was weak. But have you guys noticed that the E was weak the entire 1 year, like 2 years that we've been doing Aloha Friday Live jam? No one noticed it.
Yeah,
longer, right?
But
longer,
but the thing too is that you would only notice it if you were plugged into the sound system. And so for like Aloha Friday Live Jam,
but wouldn't it still be like the signal going to Kahai's board and stuff? Like,
but then also this microphone is picking up the natural sound.
That's true.
Of the
ukulele.
Okay.
That's
so less so.
But
than just the pickup.
That is a point. Jim said that variation and how it picks up is what makes an acoustic instrument real. If it were to be perfectly balanced, it would be like quantizing or pitch correction, where the soul of the performance is lost.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
I feel like no, it's not like that.
Yeah, I disagree.
Because when you strum it unplugged, then like that's the sound that you're trying to, by balancing it, that's what you're trying to bring it to, right? is like the sound where you can just hear all the strings like clearly, you know. So
Yeah, so we're mainly just talking about the sound from the pickup.
Because
Yeah.
the instrument itself is balanced like naturally. If you're
Yeah.
not plugging it in, there would be no problem at all. But because you're plugging it in, you're introducing something to the instrument that is foreign, you know, like so that electronics, it's not gonna be perfect every time. So you kind of have to set it so that it is.
and that's why like you can record ukulele with a mic, and it's like you don't have to worry about any of that
Yes.
problem.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that's basically what you want to achieve. You want to achieve the sound as if like you're not plugged in. You know what I mean? Like what your ukulele sounds like. And that's why I ditched all the pedals and stuff like that, because I want it to sound as if I'm playing ukulele in front of you unplugged. Like that's what I want my ukulele to sound like. So if the E is a little bit weak, that's not what it sounds like, you know, when I'm playing in front of you. Or if the A or the C is bright or whatever, that's not what it sounds like. I want it to, you know, to be at that point that like it sounds exactly like how like Kahai and Aaron hears it.
Yeah. And like a professional player, like I was saying earlier, might adapt to their ukulele, but I guarantee you, if you give them just like a balanced ukulele and they're playing it and you know everything is set up, they probably be like, "Oh, this is so much easier to play than the unbalanced ukuleles."
One less thing that they have to
like think about while they're performing, right? They just got to think about, instead of thinking, oh, I got to pick the E string a little bit harder for this song or whatever.
And it might not even be a super conscious thing. It's just something that they just naturally do. But then once they have an instrument that, like, you know, from the monitors, it sounds balanced. It's like that the RAM is not, like, you know, picked up.
You probably
have to...
They probably like play it and then be like, oh wow, like my A is pretty loud and my E is pretty loud. I can actually like kind of lean back a little bit where I was like digging in before. You know?
That's how I felt last night. So I got a new DI and I set it because this guitar has like a weak E and A string, and so I set the pickup or the DI to compensate for that, and then it sounded a little bit more balanced, and then I had to like back off. Like I've been playing this guitar for years just like that, and so
you want me to work on it? I could probably fix that E and A. It's a lot easier on guitar than it is on ukulele.
I was gonna say I have an ukulele that is not balanced. If you want to give it a crack,
I can probably do it now. Yeah. So I was gonna say that I did request for a bunch of new saddles. So I usually get compensated saddles. What that means, it's like it's compensated to each string. So that's because sometimes the E string plays a little bit, you know, a little bit sharper or a little bit flat or whatever. So let's kind of zoom in on this.
Oh. Try make it like this, maybe
this way.
Yeah,
there. So as you can see, there. You can see the compensations, the grooves and stuff onto the saddle. But what I asked them for are blank saddles with no compensation. So what that's gonna do is I now have to manually set like if it's gonna be sharp or flat. It is going to be up to me to fix the intonation of my own ukulele. I want to get to that level where I'm setting my own saddles.
That's pretty intricate.
Yeah,
you're getting into
I'm gonna just go ahead first.
Getting into the weeds.
Yeah,
nice.
Because you know, if I want to someday be nominated presidentially, to be on the National Council of the Arts. Then I'm gonna walk the same roads as the man.
I think that is the natural kind of progression, right? Yeah. Because like even when you buy your first instrument, that's where it's like beginners might go to the music shop and be like, "Can you change your string?" or "Can you change my strings?" But eventually, like if you keep playing that instrument, it's like you should be able to change the strings yourself.
Yeah, so some of the most overlooked things on an ukulele is the nut and saddle. Like these are two things that nobody thinks about, you know, but it's very, very, very important on the playability of your ukulele, the intonation of your ukulele, the string balance, the pickup balance. There's so much writing on it, but to like most people, it doesn't matter. And you know, like we said in the beginning of this, like it only really affects a small amount of people, like myself, who have felt actual true level.
It's like there's a song I was listening to, and I looked in the comments, and somebody said, "Does anybody else hear that like high pitched whistle in the song?" And I like listened to it again. I was like, "Oh my god!" And the replies to that comment, right, was like, "You ruined this song for me. What have you done? Like, I can't listen to this song anymore."
It's that. It's like, I don't know if that, if Jake did me a favor or it was
it's like a curse now.
It's a curse, but I hear it and like. Yeah, and some of my other ukuleles, I've gotten it to a point where like usually it gets to a point where the G is a little bit weaker, but the C, E, and A are nice balanced, which is fine because I rarely use my G anyway. Sometimes it's like this, it's in a point where the A is a little bit brighter, which is fine because most of the time I'm doing pickings on the A anyway. You know, as long as the A is not too far away from the E, all good. But if the E is too weak and everything else is okay, it's not okay. Because I have two main sources of picking, and that's A and the E string. So if you take one of them out, I'm 50% less effective. If you think about it that way.
Yeah.
And you really have to think about like when you're playing a run or something and it's using the E and the A, you gotta pick the E string harder during certain parts, certain notes. That's
And I spoke when I was speaking to Jake and stuff. I told him, I'm like, I don't know if you felt this, but like sometimes like I'll play an ukulele and I'll notice that like the balance is off, but there's nothing you can do because you're already performing and you're in the middle of a performance. He's like, man, that is like a nightmare. I was like, yes. He's like, I know exactly how you feel. I'm like, oh, thank you so much, because I thought I was like alone in this world that like that had that, and it's just frustrating up on stage, like not getting the sound that you want, So
that kind of what we were talking about earlier, right? That whether you realize it or not, like unconsciously, that probably adds to your, stress of being on stage. It's
changes the way you play too, which I'd rather not, but with anything, you just go with the flow. So if something's wrong, then you adjust, I guess.
That's probably why too. I mean, that is why most people won't really notice or care about balance, right? Like even if they are plugged in and performing, is because they're probably not picking lead on their ukulele. They're probably just strumming. Yeah. So if you're just strumming, like it doesn't really
harder to tell.
You can't really pick it up as much.
But if you're a heavy strummer like myself, it's actually worse, and that's where I really hear it, because when you strum hard, that means you're taking every single string to whatever limit that it can. So if one is weak, that's definitely gonna stand out because the others are pushing it to the limit, whereas this one doesn't quite go as far. So you're gonna hear it. Yeah.
So that's usually when you notice it, is if you're actually performing and getting the dynamics to its loudest and its softest.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
You remember the email chains, right? Like, oh, send this to 5 people, or your crush is gonna find out that you like them, or whatever stupid thing, right?
Who cares? Let her find out.
Yeah. I wonder how many people are gonna come back now and be like, I listened to this podcast and then I listened to my ukulele and I noticed the balance now.
Yeah. It's one of those things that until like you're handed like a perfectly balanced ukulele to play with, it's tough. It's tough to kind of like, I don't really understand what you mean, Aldrine. It's like,
Well, even that too, right? Like you're handed a perfectly balanced ukulele and you're plugged into like a system where you can hear yourself pretty well.
Yeah.
Until that, and then probably
Stuff.
don't know.
But yeah, like first world ukulele problems, I guess.
Yeah, and that's the thing, that the majority of people, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But it's informative. I mean, with this, I do like enjoy talking about it. That's why I'm like, I don't want to talk about it unless someone asks me about it, because I don't want to get started. Just like Rick and Morty again. Like, have you heard about the Gear Wars? It's like, no. Oh, I envy you.
And we talked about fixing it yourself, but really, if you notice that you have balance problems, just bring it into like a music shop or a luthier.
Yes, if it's bad enough that you notice, bring it into to wherever you bought it from. The first place I would bring it to is the original maker, or whoever you got that pickup from. Okay, Next will be to whatever luthier you can find, and then the music store, because the music store sometimes like, oh well,
Yeah, and that's the thing is that, like in your case where you notice really minute details about it, like you can go all the way back to the the pickup maker, and even they wouldn't,
Yeah. So like what I used to do was when I had a lot more free time, and flights weren't that expensive, I would just fly up to Oahu, get my uke worked on and stuff. So me and Joe would look over it for the next 5-6 hours or whatever.
Yeah. And you would try it out and then give him feedback, and then he could.
And then if it
adapt.
doesn't, if it doesn't work, I'll leave it with him, and then I'll he'll work on it for however many weeks, and I'll fly up for the day again, pick it up, and when it's all good, that's usually what I'll do. But with with COVID now, and plus with now my desire to kind of want to learn how to understand and work on my own instruments, I kind of want to do it myself. Yeah. So this is something that I put upon myself. So last night when I played it, because it's a lot closer than when I first played it 2 weeks ago, it made me just so happy. I'm so stoked about this uke, but it's only gonna get better, because I'm gonna get some new saddles, work on it, and I'll update you guys with my progress. So we're all learning, everybody. We're all learning. Yeah, because there might be like a master over here, like, Aldrine Guerrero, I thought you would need to pull out the master. You don't know how to do that? It's so easy.
What? You don't have your own micrometer to test these things?
Levels? What?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that this is such it's particular to each ukulele, so you can't just do the same thing to every ukulele that you encounter.
There's so much variable.
It's gonna be different for each ukulele, and it's just a trial and error thing, right?
Yeah.
The because saddles can be either made out of bone, new bone, plastic, whatever. There's like so much materials, and each material makes a difference. Because if you're using, the bone sounds better because natural material sounds better, but natural bone does have like the small pockets inside.
Oh yeah, it's just variations.
Yeah,
in
so
the
there's
density.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's just so much things.
Or even like when the person gets the ukulele, right?
Yeah.
And if they're like, oh, I'm gonna put on my own strings, that can just immediately just change the balance.
Yeah.
So
Different. It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff, and I'm just like, there's so much things in my brain to just like consider. And I annoyed my entire family, my mom, my wife, my kid, and stuff, because like I have to plug it in, like to listen to it. And most of the time they're like, "What's the difference?" I'm like, "Can't you hear that? Because I can't, and that's what's wrong." I
was at your guys' show last night, and it was funny because a lady. I had my back to you guys while you guys were playing, and because I was talking to my relatives, but a lady like sitting across from me, she came up and she's like, "How can you have your back turned to them?
How dare you?"
Yeah, but
disrespecting these musicians.
What I was actually doing was like I was trying to listen to your uke and see if I could hear if it was balanced.
Did you hear the difference?
Yeah, I felt like I was like, I think it's pretty good today.
Yeah.
Like I think he found out how to get it right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, a little bright. The A is a little bright, but it's just right.
That's hilarious because she has no idea how much you see us.
While you guys were playing, right? My cousin guys are like, "Oh, so do you know all these songs and stuff?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I'm like listening to it, and I know what you guys are gonna play, and then I'm also thinking in my head, I have to switch the camera angles. I'm timing it to switch. It's like,
awesome.
Aldrine's solo is coming up now. Switch now. I got it.
So that's cool. Yeah, a lot of stuff because people don't know, like Aaron's whole like don't quit your day job thing.
Yeah, basically the same thing.
And then Mim guys, like at NAM, like I was doing a demonstration at Connie Leah's booth and stuff. Tim and Mim, they were watching me and stuff, and Mim's like, he's all right, because she's my friend. It's just like whatever. And then someone heard her. They're like, "What are you talking?" I got upset, kind of like, "What are you talking about?" It's so offensive. Like, he's so good.
Mim did that too.
Yeah.
Cause me and Mim the whole weekend we were going like, I looked at Mim and I was like, and I like did the handshake like he's all right, and Mim cracked up, and then she would tell me something back too. So I thought you were gonna say. But it was like genuine, and it was almost like lovable how he did this, right?
Yeah.
When Jake like brought Mim over, and he's like, "Aldrine, do you know Mim? She's great." And it was like, yeah, we know Mim.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Like I think even before Mim, I think Deech and Russ and stuff, or like the show in California, in like NorCal, like over the Silvas, they did that too.
Yeah.
And people were like kind of like looking like, why are you here then?
Yeah.
Why are you such a hater?
You're such a hater. Why'd you buy tickets to this show? It was pretty pricey. Just to like heckle him? Who are you? Why would you do that? I'm staying with that guy.
Is he? Yeah. Is he staying in your house or something? Oh, gosh.
Good times. But man, we are way over time. See, I could talk on and on about this balance thing because I'm just super passionate about it right now. So, thank you so much for all of you folks who listen to this show. Thank you so much for everyone who brought in songs for the songwriting contest. Please submit your new songs. We have a soft due date of 3 weeks from now, but it's very soft, like pudding soft. Like just make a song.
I guess
don't even worry about the deadline. Just make it.
So Mike is coming in 3 weeks then,
and then Dan's coming again.
Yeah.
And Dan and Mark, and then we just forget to make a song, and then we gotta wait one more week after that. So very soft due date of 3 weeks from now. So, but yeah, we'll try to get ours in a couple weeks. So we'll give you guys some examples on what what a song could sound like using those using those parameters. So yeah, have some fun. Try it out for yourself. Also, we have what do we have? We have next week the open mic. Open mic is next week, right? We're gonna do Thursday.
That's a big day because open mic, new song lesson.
Song.
Yep. So
yeah, so next week is gonna be July 1st? July, right? Oh man, I don't know my own thing. So July 1st, we have our open mic from 2:20 p.m. to whatever time. And so for those of you folks who are interested in going to doing the open mic, think of at least 2 songs to play, because we're gonna try to give people sets, like song sets to do. Now, let's see, brand new lesson next month. Excited about that. Anything else, Guy?
Yeah. Do you want to explain though, like the idea? So it's like people are playing 2 songs, and before we're moving on to the next person to play 2 songs for the open mic.
So everybody gets 2 songs now. So instead of like everybody plays 1 song and then like we'll wait until everybody's done and then like they can play a second song and stuff. Everybody gets 2 songs, like just so it's right a set. Like right off the bat, you go on, play your 2 songs, and this way it can kind of like get people prepared for like an actual gig too, because in an actual gig sometimes you get a 2-3 song set, sometimes you get an hour set, sometimes you get 2 hour sets. But it's great to kind of figure out what you want to do for the audience. Maybe one song is like a setup, or the next song is like is your big finale or whatever. So think of some cool like song combinations, maybe a soft one and a loud one, or maybe 2 loud ones, just hit them all, so it's pretty cool when you think about it. But it allows everyone to to have a little set. And we're doing this because it's kind of it's not as hectic as like the first week. The first week we had like too much people like come in, so if we gave everybody 2 songs it would have ran like 5 hours long or whatever. So yeah, we're gonna try to streamline it a little bit more, give everybody 2, move on to the next person. So instead of like, okay, now then raise your hand if you want to do another one, everybody gets 2. Okay.
Yeah. At the same time though, if you're you've been preparing or you're worried and you're like, I only have 1 song that I'm really comfortable with.
You don't have to do 2. You can do 1 if you want to, but 2 at max.
Yep.
And then we move on to the next person, okay? All right, everyone, have a great one. I'll see you folks tomorrow for Aloha Friday Live Jam. Aloha.